This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Yesterday, I want to thank everyone that stopped me, everyone that felt that I was correct, and I had a few that didn't agree with me about our good buddy Ron Dildo Dupert. What a no-good son of a bitch he is. Dupert, I think you're in trouble in this election. I think you've got the public turning against you. The public knows what you're about. The public knows how independent you're not. You're dependent on the Republican Party, the elitist Republicans, not the rank and file. I don't even know if the rank and file Republicans are going to vote for you, Dupert. If they know you, if they know about you, if they know who you are, you won't get a vote. And it's kind of a shame. There ought to be a good candidate running for that position for circuit judge in the 20th Judicial Circuit. You've got him and you've got Barasivic. And I don't like Barasivic. I think he's a no-good son of a bitch. But I think he's a lot more honorable than Ron Dildo Dupert. And people said, don't mess with the Republican. I said, are you crazy? I'll mess with anybody I want. I don't like the Republican organization. I don't like the Democratic organization. You've heard me. I like the rank and file Democrats and you rank and file Republicans. You good people out there that are swayed either democratically or Republican-wise, I understand that. I understand you have leanings towards the Democratic philosophy or the Republican philosophy, but you guys work normal jobs, you're normal people. You're going to vote your conscience. You're going to vote the person, not the party. The vast majority of people aren't going to let the Democratic organization or the Republican organization, not going to let them dictate how you're going to vote. Now, below the hill, it's a different story. Below the hill, East St. Louis, I read right here. Illinois has highest black unemployment rate in the United States. Illinois has the highest black employment rate in the country at 15%, according to the Economic Policy Institute. Illinois political leaders have ignored opportunities to encourage economic growth while enacting taxes and regulations that have stunted job creation. Do you proud black people below the hill and above the hill, do you understand what this means? Illinois political leadership has ignored opportunities to encourage economic growth while enacting taxes and regulations that have stunted job creation. They don't want jobs in Illinois because if there's jobs come to Illinois, the good people of Illinois will get them. And then the politicians won't be able to control the good people of Illinois because the good people of Illinois will have jobs. They won't be dependent on the politicians. But see, for everyone that keeps these ass-white bastard politicians, both Democrat and Republican, for everyone that keeps them in office, it hurts you guys. I've been with the white boys in Belleville. They disrespect the proud black community in East St. Louis. They don't want to give you jobs because then you'll be on your own. You've heard the old analogy 1,000 times. They want to give you a fish. So every time you get hungry, you got to go back and beg them for another fish. I think you should get a fishing pole so you can be independent, so you can feed yourself. And that's kind of self-serving on my end, I think. Not as a white man, but just as a man. If you can take care of yourself, not just the proud blacks, but the proud whites, the less fortunate. If you guys can take care of yourselves, I won't have to take care of you. We both win, don't we? You're proud, you have a job, you can take care of your family, and I don't have to. I can take care of my family. And that's not a black-white thing. That's just an economic thing. But the proud blacks below the hill, you guys get in that rut where you'll take a little bit of election time and then you get screwed for the next 4 years. I talked to a proud black man yesterday. The guy said, Bob, it's not the black community that's wrong. It's the black leadership that steers the black community in the wrong direction. And I apologized to the guy. I said, hey, you know what? You're right. It's not the proud blacks' fault. It's the plantation Negroes. It's the blacks that get elected by the proud black community and then sell out. It's the same way in the white community. You get these white, no-good son of a bitch and political parasitical punks. They get elected by the proud white people, and then they sell out to the politicians. These politicians don't want to see you be successful because then you won't have to kiss their ass. I've had people say, Bob, I'd like to put a sign in my yard for you. I'm voting for you, but don't say anything because I work at the county. I work at the city. My brother works. My sister works. You know, this is America. Why can't we be for who we want without getting penalized? Because these politicians won't let it happen, people. They don't want to lose control of us. See, they've lost control of me years back. And you see what's happened. I'm all over their ass. And all I do is speak for all of us. All of you is listening out there. I know you'd like to say the same thing. No, you'd like to say worse than I'm saying about these no-good son of a bitches. You've ate their crap long enough, people, haven't you? Hell yes, you have. You sit there, and you guys are men and women, proud men and women, black and white, Democrats and Republicans. But you got to back down. You got to be afraid. Hey, I'm not afraid of you no-good son of a bitches. Come and get me, Bob Romanik. I don't give a damn. Sprague, Kern, Bear Civic, the big leadership, the powerful leadership of St. Clair County, the political corrupt leadership of St. Clair County. Come and get Bob Romanik. I don't give a damn. You can't hurt me anymore. You can't hurt me, guys. People, do you understand? Don't let them hurt you. Stand up to these bastards. They're no bigger than better than we are. They're actually worse. They're politicians. They take from the community. They take and take and take and never give anything back. But the proud blacks below the hill, they're Democrats. They got to be Democrats. I would tell you proud black people below the hill, you don't have to be anything but proud and black. You don't have to do anything but take care of your families. Do what you have to do to take care of your families. And the Democratic organization in St. Clair County hasn't helped facilitate that cause for the last 50 years. But you guys are still going to vote Democrat? You need to take up the philosophy of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. You need to vote the person, not the party. You people below the hill, you're hurting yourselves. You're part to blame. You understand me? You proud black people below the hill are part to blame. Because you know what happens every 4 years. They come down. They give you a little bit of money. They take photo ops. They kiss your ass for one day. And then they're gone. I see here in the paper, parks around county in line to receive upgrades. This asswipe Herbie Simmons. And how can a man be all up Kern's ass? Herbie Simmons, you little bitch boy from East Carondelet. He's the director of the County Park Grants Commission. This no-good son of a bitch and hair-dyeing greasy bastard from East Carondelet who'll kiss anybody's ass. He kissed Miquelon's ass back in the day, the U.S. attorney who screwed or tried to screw all the politicians in Belleville. And so the politicians, the dumbass bastards in Belleville, they reward a son of a bitch like Herb Simmons. They give him a job, a $135,000 a year job that he's not qualified for because he's white and he's kissing their ass. But anyway, all these grants they're giving out, it's election time, people. They're fixing some of the streets in East St. Louis. Why? Because it's election time, people. We've got some callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm just calling about Herb Simmons. He wouldn't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch because he is the guy at South Broadway Athletic Club that has no idea what the hell he's doing. And also, he's a no-good son of a bitch politician that needs to be voted out of that office for everything that he's done wrong.
You know what, Lindsay, let me tell you, you're exactly right, but he's not voted out because he's appointed. Mark Sweetcakes Kern is the guy that appointed him. And you know why Lindsay appointed Herb Simmons? And it sounds like you know old Herbie boy. Herbie Simmons will kiss anybody's ass for some money. Herb Simmons will kiss anybody's ass for a job. Herb Simmons will kiss anybody's ass for a title. Don't you agree with me?
Yeah.
Lindsay, turn your radio down, will you? You can't listen to me and talk and listen there. Come on.
I love your voice. It just sends so much positive energy towards me.
But this Herb Simmons, do you know him very well?
I actually do. He is one of the announcers at South Broadway Athletic Club, which happens to be a wrestling venue, and over in East Carondelet, which I have attended, and he is one of the most corrupt. I would use other vulgar words that probably get kicked off the radio.
Well, let's lose. What about using greasy and sleazy? Can we use those words?
It was probably better to use a rotten bastard son of a bitch. You can't even wipe his ass.
Okay, I agree.
He's so fat.
Hey, Lindsay, I want to know one thing. You know, he's got that Civic Center over in East Carondelet, and we tried to get some Freedom Information to find out where all that money's going. But in my opinion, I think he's taking advantage of the good people of East Carondelet. He's using that a community center that the city paid for, and he's making all his money. And I don't know where that money's going because I sure can't find it on any kind of statements or any kind of income tax situation. So where do you think that money's going?
He's probably using it to buy a damn Mercedes or freaking try to get his fat ass slimmer. I mean, that dude was like bigger than a damn house, and then all of a sudden he gets slim, and I guess that surgery didn't work for him. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, he needs surgery on his brain. He needs surgery on his guts because he has none. Lindsay, thank you very much. See, that's people. Lindsay are like the rest of us. She just got the guts to come out and say it. Aren't you pissed? Don't you get tired of all this political crap? But you keep taking it, people. You keep taking it. You elect these bastards every 2 and 4 years. You've got Kern, this no-good son of a bitch. You remember the people in East St. Louis. I tried to give $10,000 to open up the pool in memory of my son. It wasn't political at all. They wouldn't take my money. Kern and Sprague and the black leaders down there wouldn't take my money. But they took your money. They made the county board authorized $10,000 payment to East St. Louis, and I'm glad the pool got open. But why did it get open with your taxpayers' dollar? You good people throughout the state of the county of St. Clair, it would have been my personal money. Should have been my personal money. Wouldn't have come out of your pockets. But see, they play politics. They don't give a damn about people. And I want to talk about politics here real quick. And this really pisses me off. Really pisses me off. You know, we always have the moment of silence before my show. I will not talk. I will not ever be any place where I'm a speaker that there's not a moment of silence. I'll never do a radio show unless there's a moment of silence. And I know people say it takes a minute or two. Take a minute or two out of your life to remember your loved ones and our brave military heroes that died to give us the right to live free. Do you think a minute or two is too much to waste? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Having said that, I hope you good people will understand and be considerate of this situation that I'm about to talk about. My good friend, a good friend of the people of Belleville, of St. Clair County, Chief Barry Biehl. He was a chief in Belleville. He was a career Belleville police officer. You hear me? He came up through the ranks, patrolman, sergeant, lieutenant. He was a chief.
Came up through the ranks. He was the best chief of police that Belleville ever had. You know, he retired after a brave and honorable 25 or 30 years service to Belleville in the county of St. Clair. He was also a Marine. He was a Marine. And once a Marine, always a Marine. Barry Biehl, our friend, passed a couple days ago. Had his wake and his eulogy and his service at Kerr's Funeral Home yesterday in Belleville. A lot of friends showed up. You know who didn't show up? The mayor of Belleville. You know who didn't show up? The chief of police of Belleville. You two rotten black and white pieces of crap. See, the whites are just as bad as the blacks. If you're a no good son of a bitch, it doesn't make any difference what color you are, black or white. Mayor Mark, Pussy Boy, also known as Maximus Vaginus Eckert, and Chief Bill, I'd like to be white, but I can't be because I'm black, but I'd like to be white because I don't like blacks. Clay, the chief of Belleville. They did not attend the service. They did not acknowledge the death. There wasn't a flag flown at half-staff. And more egregious than that, they had no honor guard. For 3 hours, they could have had somebody standing next to the urn. Chief Biehl, may rest in peace, was cremated. So there wasn't a coffin there, but there was the urn with his remains. That's what people do to respect the position. Maybe you guys didn't like Chief Biehl. I don't know why you wouldn't, but maybe you didn't. But you do it out of respect for his position. You do it out of respect for the city of Belleville. You do it out of respect for the people of Belleville. Now, when he went over to the cemetery over Jefferson Barracks, being a Marine, the Marines, they had the honor guard there. They give him full military burial rights. And he hadn't been in the Marine Corps, but once a Marine, always Marine. He hadn't been in the Marine Corps for a long, long time ago. But they, the proud Marines, our great country, recognized the loss of a great man. They had the honor guards there. They had the flag ceremony. They went all and above, over and above the call of duty to put this man to rest, this proud Marine, this proud chief of police, this proud Belleville police officer, to put him to rest. Mayor Eckert didn't. Not even an acknowledgement to the family. Chief Clay, the chief of Belleville, did not show up. Now, there were a few policemen that showed up out of respect for Chief Barry Biehl, and they did that on their own. But there was not an honor guard standing there. It'd only been a couple hours. And me being the ex-chief in Washington Park, we couldn't afford to have somebody work overtime. But you know how many officers, when a policeman died or a family member, volunteered to stand there out of respect for the uniform, if nothing else. Out of respect for the uniform, if nothing else. This no good, and you guys want to know why I hate these rotten bastards. You want to know why I'm always on their ass. That's why, people. But my dad used to tell me, Bob, don't expect respect from someone who doesn't respect themselves. And Chief Maximus Vaginus, Mayor Maximus Vaginus, but they're all one and the same, Eckert and Chief Clay, you guys have no respect for yourself. You have no respect for the community. This wasn't a personal issue. I don't give a damn if you liked Chief Barry Biehl or not. And if you didn't, I don't believe you had a reason not to, because he was one hell of a good man and probably the best chief of police Belleville ever had. But for you two rotten bastards to shun that funeral, to not acknowledge his passing, to not acknowledge his service to Belleville, Illinois, not to acknowledge his service to the people of Belleville, Illinois. What no good, rotten pieces of crap you are, you no good son of a bitches. It shows the total disrespect to everyone in Belleville. Now, you guys, do you believe me when I say many, many times that these no good son of a bitches are truly low-life bastards? You guys ought to be totally embarrassed for your actions, or should I say lack of actions, representing the good people of Belleville. It was a respect thing, Eckert. It was a respect thing, Clay. And you showed no respect, not only to our friend, but to the ex-chief of Belleville. You showed total disrespect to everybody. Now, you politicians, you ass-white bastards, let a politician die. That flag will be flying at half-staff. There'll be 15 police cars. There'll be honor guards. You people understand why I get pissed at these politicians. They name bridges after politicians, streets, roads, buildings. They don't name them after the heroes, but they're starting to. I think they're all listening to me. They understand that I'm going to give them hell until they do right. And the right thing to do, Maximus Vaginus Eckert, pussy boy, and Bill Clay, you're the total disrespect to that uniform, Bill Clay, the chief of Belleville. I hope when you pass, and I hope it's a lot of years, don't want to wish you any bad health. I hope when you pass, the police department shuns you, shows you total disrespect, like you've shown Chief Barry Biehl, because you have no respect for that uniform, Chief. When you did what you did not acknowledge, did not send an honor guard. Chief, if I'd have been you, I would have been the honor guard. I would have stood there for 3 hours on my own time. But no, you guys got better things to do. You got to play politics. You got to worry about what's going on out there at the shrine. Another failure. You guys have all been failures, and it pisses me off. And I want to thank you people for taking the time to listen to me. But see, this was done for my friend, Barry Biehl. I wanted to give him his final journey. I wanted to give him the respect that he earned. I want to give him the respect that he deserved. And that's what I'm doing now. So again, I want to thank you good people and I know a lot of you people didn't know Barry Biehl. He's been a chief a few years back, but he did a great job. He was a great man, an honorable man. He represented the city of Belleville in a very, very professional manner. And I just had to get this off my chest, but I wanted to give him his proper kudos because he deserved them. He wouldn't have wanted them, but he deserved them. He didn't give a damn about accolades. He didn't give a damn about awards. He gave a damn about doing his job, as we all do. But the lesson to be learned here, people, is these no good son of a bitches don't give a damn about anybody. They don't give a damn about you in life, and they'll give a less of a damn about you in death. So I want to say, Barry Biehl, I hope you rest in peace. And people, please bear with me. I know we had a moment of silence for everyone. I want to have a special moment of silence for our good friend, a proud American, a proud Marine, a proud Belleville police officer, Chief Barry Biehl. We're going to have a moment of silence. Then we're going to go into the Marine Corps hymn out of respect for Barry Biehl. And then the taps to help him get to his final resting place. Moment of silence for our good friend, Chief Barry Biehl. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. I want to thank, seriously, all the listeners out there. I know maybe a lot of you people didn't know Barry Biehl, but I did, and I felt compelled to do that. And someone said, well, you may lose some listeners. They're not interested. Well, if you're not, I understand, but I am. I can lose every listener that listens to me. If I believe in something, I'm going to address it. And if it hurts, it just hurts. But that's what men do. You don't go around and pick and choose the good things and let the bad things go. No, you take care of the good things and you fight through the bad things. So, again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to more of my personal situation. We've got some callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hi. I just wanted to say I appreciate your stance for the police.
Well, thank you, sir.
And I support the police. I live on the over in St. Louis side, and I'm a member of the Backstoppers, and I also am a member of the Masters program, which is the Backstoppers for Missouri Highway Patrol.
Well, sir, I want to salute you for that, being an ex-policeman, for you taking the time out. So, you're one of my heroes too. Everybody that does something for our community is a hero of mine. So I want to thank you, sir. But go ahead.
Well, the issue is, we've had the situation with Ferguson, and I happen to know the police officers who were there. Chief Belmar from the county police is a dear friend, and I know they went through hell there trying to keep the peace. And I know that the police get a bad rap, and I think, there's that thin line between the good guys and the bad guys, and that's the police departments. And every time they leave their home, they have a target on them, and they're giving their all to support us, and I think we can give our all to support them. And I appreciate the fact that you're bringing these things out on your show. I don't always get a chance to listen to your show. A lot of times it's the 4 o'clock, the rerun of your show.
Yes, sir.
But I tell you what, I agree with a lot of the things you say. I don't agree with all of it, but that's America.
That's America, sir. Thank you very much.
And thank you for what you do, and keep it up. But you know what? Sometimes you need someone that's going to raise hell. I'm a hell raiser myself. And I enjoy that because I stick on the side of what's correct. And I also like the fact, I happen to be a Democrat, I like the fact that you're attacking and bringing it out on both sides of the aisle. You're not just sticking on the Democrats, but you also were calling out the Republican today, and I think that's fair. And I think you're fair, and I hope you keep up your great work.
Bob, thank you very much. You made my day, buddy, and thank you for all you do for our law enforcement. I spoke with someone. I'm glad Bob brought this up. And they said, this Kopechnik, this ass-wipe, no-good son of a bitch San Francisco 49er, and I'm going to get into that momentarily because you know what I think about this great country. I love this great country. I'd die for this great country. Now, these politicians, I wouldn't crap on those bastards, but that's another story. But when they say Black Lives Matter, yes, they do. Got a lot of black friends. Everybody's lives matter. And I can understand when they want to emphasize the Black Lives Matter. I want to emphasize my life matters first. I understand them. But for them to say, and this Kopechnik, ignorant, stupid, ass-wipe, no good, low-life, for nothing, San Francisco 49er son of a bitch, for him to say it's about the white policeman or the policeman killing blacks, if it's a bad shoot, white or black policeman, they're not a police officer, a professional police officer. They're a bum with a badge. They go to trial. But see, for these protesters, these criminals, even if they go to trial and win in this great judicial system we have, the best, it's not perfect, but it's the best in the world, they still, these guys are still guilty. No, they're not. They're innocent by a court of law, but they're just looking. These protesters, these criminals, both black and white, they're just looking for a reason to try to destroy our country. But this rotten, no-good son of a bitch that makes millions of dollars a year, you heard me a little bit yesterday, people. This Colin Kopechnik, San Francisco 49er quarterback, refused to stand for the national anthem, refused to stand when everyone is proud in representing this great United States of America. Now, this no-good son of a bitch makes $20, $30 million a year because of America, because of the freedoms he has. If he lived in another country, they'd be taking all his money. Maybe be taking his life if he didn't stand for their national anthem. Probably would have killed him. But he can get away with that. He can get away with that in this great United States because we're a free country. He has his rights. He has his right to be a no-good son of a bitch and sit for the national anthem. But I say to the coach Let that no good son of a bitch sit the whole game on the bench. And here's what I would ask, and I know we've got 4 million potential listeners on our stations. We probably only have 3.5 million. There's probably not everybody listens. And I know they don't hear me out in California. Well, some of them on the internet, they can pick us up. But I would suggest for every veteran, every family member of a veteran, every friend of a veteran, and everybody that's partaken in all the freedoms that the veterans have fought and died to give us should boycott the San Francisco 49ers Stadium, should boycott until they get rid of that no-good son of a bitch. He sits there and benefits from everything this great country offers, and he doesn't have the decency to stand up and respect. You don't have to respect police officers. That's his right not to. Why he wouldn't, I don't know. But he doesn't have to respect the police officers. But he does have to respect this great country. He has to respect this country for what it's done for him, for me, and for you. But this no good son of a bitch sits down during the national anthem. And people all throughout the world see that. They see a big football hero disrespecting our great country. Hey, you rotten bastard, do that in Iraq, Colin Kaepernick, you ignorant bastard. Do that in Iraq, Iran, Pakistan. Don't stand up for their national anthem. That'll be the last time you didn't stand up, because your head would be cut off, and I wish they'd shove it up your ass. You can't disrespect this country after all it's done for you. It's given you so many opportunities, and you've taken every one, haven't you? You no good son of a bitch. You don't stand because of the police department. You don't like the policeman, fine. You don't like this country, fine. Well, take those millions, $120 million that you've been getting, and give it back, because you don't like capitalism either, I guess. You no-count, good-for-nothing, ass-wipe, football-playing son of a bitch. Now, see, I'm not going to be crappy to all the football players like he is to all the policemen, because there's a couple bad policemen. We call them bums with badges. They're not police officers. I'm not going to hold the proud football community, the hard-working football community, I'm not going to hold them accountable for one no-good, no-count, rotten bastard, Colin Kaepernick. And think about it, people. How can a no-good son of a bitch, take from our great country and not give back even respect? Not to stand for the national anthem? People in San Francisco ought to be livid over that. People throughout this great country ought to be livid. Anybody that has anything to do with that football team, the sponsorship, I would suggest that everybody boycott everything and show your respect and your support for this great United States of America. We've got some more callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hi, Bob, and I never felt lighter in my life. Just wanted you to know, boost your spirits here a little bit, because I understand why you're upset about this. It can bring down a person's soul and spirit.
Yes, it can, Cindy.
Driving through Mascoutah, my hometown, love that place. 2 days ago, 2-mile-long stretch of Main Street, there's a Romanik sign in just about every third yard. You are big in Mascoutah, buddy, and I thought you should know.
Well, ma'am, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate that.
Problem. Now, here's my second thing. In this politically correct day and age, it was the black man's turn to be a president. Now it's a woman's turn. Based on what? I say if we're going to start assigning terms for the presidency of the United States, get in line, Hillary, behind the first people that were here, the indigenous American natives. Why do they never get a turn at anything? And they're forced to live under laws that they don't have any voice in, and it's absolutely dreadful. And I'm starting to educate people as much as I can and see if we can't get to the heart and the mind and the soul of Mr. Trump to start bringing American Indians into the fold when it comes to shaping the form of government that we have and how it treats people. And thirdly, as far as Mr. Kaepernick goes, where is this oppression for all the black people? How many millionaires in this country are black compared to the rest of the world? We've got a black president, a black attorney general. There are all kinds of black people in places of high positions in power. And when is the last time a black person ever had to be afraid to walk down a white street at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night? They're afraid to walk down their own streets if they're decent people. So I'm sick of hearing about black oppression. You have a wonderful day. And by the way, Boo Boo says, hi, Uncle Bob. Thanks for putting me on the internet. She's a sensation.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, that was more than I could really absorb. But Cynthia, thank you very much. But I do agree with you, and I've said that before about the Indians. They're the lost culture. They're the lost civilization, and they were hurt. They were hurt bad. But I really don't see many Indians. But they should. They should come out. And I don't want to, Cynthia. I don't want to put bad light on the black community because they've been wrong too. But you know what? The white community's been wrong at times, and we've been right at times. So I think what we have to do is not so much live by our past experiences, but I think we should learn from our past experiences, and let's take those past experiences and move forward in a positive light. Let's don't keep talking about reparation. Let's don't keep talking about slavery. Let's remember slavery. Let's remember how bad it was. But let's don't let that get in the way of us progressing as a community, as a country, as a culture, as black and whites coming together. Let's remember it. And I say about loved ones the same way. My son and everybody that's lost a child or lost a family member, you got to keep them in your heart. You can't keep them in your mind. If you keep them in your mind, you'll go crazy. You'll think about what should have been, what could have been, what you could have done. And we all could have done better. So you keep those thoughts in your heart. You get them out of your mind and you move forward. Honey, thank you very much for the call. We're going to take a quick break. We got Carl Officer just came in. We'll be talking with him momentarily, and we'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. I want to thank everybody that sends in all this information about the fraternal groups or church groups, and we'll get to all of them. Sometimes they're a little far out. Sometimes some of these are sent off for the end of September, October, and we'll get to them. We want to do the most recent ones first, so let's take care of a little housekeeping, and I want to talk with Carl about whatever the hell he wants to talk about. But the Drive One for the School fundraiser, it'll be held at Metz Ford in Millstadt. The address at Metz Ford is 100 East Washington Street in Millstadt. It's going to take place on September the 10th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., and it's great that they do that. It'll benefit the Millstadt Consolidated School Athletic Department. You go for a test drive at Mertz Ford in Millstadt on September the 10th, and they will give $20 to the school every time somebody test drives a car. There's going to be free hot dogs on site and free water available. It says donations are welcome. You can contact Connor at 618-476-1681, extension 5110. What a great cause for the good people of Millstadt if you can make it out to Mertz Ford on September the 10th, and we'll talk about it a little bit more down the road. September the 9th and 10th, St. Stephen's Catholic Church in Caseyville, their fall festival coming up September 9th and 10th. Going to have food and drink, a silent auction, going to have washer tournaments. So if you can make it out to help the good friends at our Catholic Church in Caseyville, St. Stephen's Catholic Church, please do. September the 11th, our good friends at the Edwardsville American Legion Post 199 having their Bluegrass Festival from 1 to 6 p.m. Going to have great music If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact 618-656-9774. And again, we want to salute all of our military heroes, all of our military organizations for the great job that they do. New Memphis Station, their Customer Appreciation Hog Roast, coming up on Saturday, September the 10th, starting at 2 p.m. Going to have music. Going to have a great time. Everybody out at New Memphis Station. We love you guys out there. That's between Mascoutah and Oakville. Thank you very much for that information. And today, our good friend Frank Allegastein is going to have his tax meeting. Very, very informative, to be held at 1:30 p.m. at the Freeburg Library. And they're going to have another meeting at 6, a general meeting of Citizens Federation on tax purposes. Frank does a great job out there. Ed Cockrell, who knows everything about taxes, who's helped everybody in St. Clair County not screw the county out of tax dollars, but to help the good people of St. Clair County save money when they can legally save it. Ed Cockrell will also be out there. That's today at the Freeburg Library at 1:30 p.m. Millstock Community Blood Drive coming up Thursday, September the 8th from 4 to 8 p.m., sponsored by the Millstock Consolidated School Multi-Purpose Room at 211 West Mill Street in Millstock. Any questions or concerns, you can contact Marge at 401-5122. Millstock Homecoming this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, September the 3rd and 4th. Great people in Millstock always put on a great homecoming. They're going to have parades on both Saturday and Sunday starting at 5 p.m. So everybody, we'll see you out in Millstock this Saturday and Sunday. Last but certainly not least, back to school celebration in Jones's Park, put on by the New Vision Democrats, September the 5th. The parade will be at 10 o'clock starting at Katie Wright School, and it'll end up in Jones's Park at noon. They're going to be free barbecue all day, balloons, bounce houses, music, raffles, 20 bicycle giveaway. Everyone is invited to the citywide East St. Louis picnic sponsored by the New Vision Democrats. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper Radio. You can go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling for the best of all three of our stations. You can listen to my repeat performance every day at 4 o'clock p.m. And now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Please like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or KZQZ 1430 AM. Go to my personal Facebook page, Fans of the Grim Reaper. You get all the X-rated political cartoons. You'll love that. Or to my Facebook page, Bob Romanik for State Representative. And as always, do not forget the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition on Facebook. Don't have enough time for on this date. I don't think you guys give a damn anyway. Want to say happy birthday. Happy birthday. And it comes from your lovely bride, Jessica McClellan. Want to say happy birthday to Scott McClellan, turns 50 years old today. I'm sorry, on Thursday, 50 years old. They're from Cahokia, great people. And want to thank you, Jessica, for all you do, and Scott, and happy birthday, Scott. Don't forget, 1190 AM KQQZ, your new home for the Chicago Bears. The hell with the ex-St. Louis Rams. We'll be carrying the Chicago Bears football games on 1190, and also 1190 KQQZ is the home for the Fighting Illini, both football and basketball. With me, Carl Officer. We don't have a lot of time. You just stopped in. What the hell's going on in your world?
Well, Bob, my whole world is consisting right now of the November the 8th election. I've been contacted by friends of mine around the country about national politics. Friends of mine out of Chicago talking about what's going on in the state of Illinois. And I just want all my friends who know St. Clair County is my world right now for the next 71 days, 69 days. You can't really control what's going to happen in Washington. You can't really control what's going to happen in Springfield. But everyone who lives in St. Clair County has the opportunity to control their future. And with the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, each and every candidate that I have met and had the privilege of being around, these people are committed to changing your life and giving you a much better county government, a much fairer, open county government. And quite frankly, this is the only shot that most of us will ever have at an opportunity for a fair opportunity for good government. This is not going to be a fair election by any means or stretch of the imagination. They've already, as you pointed out yesterday, you got 111 people over 100 years old still on the rolls in one precinct. Come on, how do you get over 100 people in one precinct still registered to vote in one city? Okay, I mean, I've been in the funeral business all my life. I'm 64. I probably haven't buried 100 people over 100 years old, okay? But, you know, the odds of getting 101 people, 110 people in the same precinct that are still alive, still registered to vote in the same precinct, that tells you automatically what this culture of corruption is all about. They're are willing to go to any lengths to exploit anybody, no matter of age, race, color, or creed. They don't care. They just want to win, and they're not winning for the people. They just want to keep themselves in office and in power and destroy this great county.
Yeah.
I'm just focused in, and I ask all of my friends, all of your listeners, to be focused in on what you can accomplish. You can accomplish what you do with your life every day. Whoever you want to be for president or for any other office, that's fine. But you have some control in St. Clair County. If you get out, you're registered, and you get out and vote on November the 8th, for the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition and its candidates. I promise you that my co-chairman, Roger Cook, and I can guarantee that every man and woman that's on that ticket will follow through and be good to you.
Mayor Carl Officer, co-chairman of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and also the people's candidate. The people's candidate, not the Democratic candidate, not the Republican candidate, but the people's candidate of St. Clair County for St. Clair County Coroner. Mr. Carl Officer, thank you very much. We're going to go off the normal close today, again, for my good friend Barry Biehl. What a great guy he was, and I got to say how disrespectful the city of Belleville treated him, and not so much the city of Belleville, not the good people of Belleville, but the mayor of Belleville, the chief of police of Belleville, who showed no respect for not only Barry Biehl, but for that position. And both Barry Biehl and that position should have been shown the respect due them. So I say in parting today, Chief Barry Biehl, please rest in peace, our friend.